People come to me after a service sometimes and they'll say, brother, and their intention's right. I'm not making fun of anybody. It's just this theology. They'll say, brother, you have poured out and given and given and given, and we just want to pray for you. And they say, God, this man has emptied himself and poured out. Would you just fill him up? And I'm thinking, stop praying that way. I don't even know what to do now. And you're saying, fill him up. I don't even know what to do right now. I am not going empty standing here preaching. I'm not going to leave and the anointing lift and I be drained. I don't even know what people are talking about. That's a foreign language to me. I don't ever see myself not anointed. I don't put on jackets and take them off. I live in the kingdom. Yay. So they say, oh Lord, and they mean so well, and I'm going, oh God, please don't answer their prayer. Please don't answer them. Fill him up, God. Please, God. He's been draining himself. He's been emptying himself. Let me show you what that theology looks like. That theology looks like me trying to get to the mountain of the Lord. I'm like, oh God, life on the earth is so grueling. Its people are so exasperating. God, I got so much on my plate. They're thronging me. Oh my goodness, get off, God. I gotta get, God. Yay. Yay. God. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah. Oh. Really? Really? Okay. Okay, I just went to the mountain of the Lord. What's happening now? I just got filled up and now the Lord said, hey, I want you to go back down to where they all are. Okay. Now I got to come back down from the mountain to where you all dwell. And then you pull me and you drain me and you exasperate me and you, oh God, I hope I didn't wait too long. It's like the old Ultraman when I was a kid. He had a beep, 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 beep. Better not wait too long. Oh God. And then I get back up in the mountain. Oh, yeah. Now I'm ready to come back to where you all are. Now, do you see how weird that is? Who's real old school Christian? You've been around for a long time, living Jesus, for a long time. Who knows back when they came up with the idea of midweek service, Wednesday night, because it was a great idea, because it was a long haul to live life in the world from Sunday to Sunday. And if we could go on Wednesday and get a drink, get a shot, take a shot, we just might make Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then Monday, Tuesday's not as bad. Oh, Wednesday, yay, Jesus. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Who knows I'm not making that up? That they came up with a midweek service to help us get a fix to make it 3 more days. Oh my goodness, that couldn't be farther from the truth. The only reason we were doing that is because we were letting everything else matter more. We were living and finding our identity through each other while we were singing about Him. And we were only as good as people were treating us and doing us. And a lot of us went to church to find our identity among the people we gathered with. And that's why people got so hurt and never came back. Wow. It's all a lie. You don't need a Wednesday service so you can make it till Sunday. If you do a Wednesday service, it ought to be to train and equip and sharpen and stay focused. To be empowered. To get up on Wednesday or Thursday and look more like Him because of Wednesday. And be so excited after Thursday that Friday's a no-brainer. You're gonna shine. And then Saturday, woohoo! More seed sown, writing a legacy. Can't wait to go Sunday and celebrate the truth. I think that's what he intended from the beginning. I think we turned it into something else. And there's a reason that it turned into something else. Because we slowly preached the gospel to serve us instead of change us. To where most of the messages preached in this country are about blessing you and receiving something from Him instead of becoming something because of Him. And that's why there's so many discouraged people that go to church. Because in their heart they feel like this message failed, that God somehow didn't pull through, or what's wrong with me? Why didn't I get my fair shake and breakthrough? What am I doing wrong? When do I catch the blessing? You be very careful how you preach the gospel if you're a preacher. You do not keep the self thing alive. You kill it. You don't just preach messages that pertain to the blessing of the hearer. He's our God and He'll bless us, Psalm 67. You preach messages that bring transformation and change. Empower people to walk through trying times. Empower people to walk through physical loss and family members not being here anymore. You teach people how to never turn back and never grow weary in well-doing. You teach people how to run a race worthy of a prize and never give up and never let go. Just the fact that so many church-attending people reserve the right to be mad at God and have little skirmishes with God, little mouth battles, little vennings, prove that we don't understand covenant and we haven't surrendered. And there's a deceptive arrogance in all that. And I've heard preachers say from the pulpit, well, everybody gets mad at God now and then, just because of the way things look and see. I wish you would think it was ludicrous to be mad at God. That He's your only help ever. That He's good and He loves and He'd have never sent His Son if He wasn't for you. To be mad at God is totally delusional. And you're playing right into the enemy's hands. Because you're shouting down the only one that really ever loved you. And you're proving that you're not entering into covenant. You just want Him to do something for you. A covenant is all that is mine is yours. Because all that is yours is mine. I give myself to you. That's what a marriage is. A marriage is, I love you. It's not, you love me. It's, I love you. And that's what it is. You see, yeah, but a marriage takes two. It's 50-50. It's a lot of work. I guess if you're secular. I guess if you're a human-driven, flesh-driven, earthly psychologist, that would probably make sense. A marriage isn't 50-50. A marriage is I love you. Hello? It takes two to tango. It takes one to make peace and pursue it. My marriage is I love you. It's not conditional on her love to me. I love you. Didn't God initiate this marriage? How'd He do it? I love you. When you and me were getting it all wrong. Love you. And instead of going, why? Say thank you. Man, you never saw me for where I've been. You saw me for what I'm created to be. And you paid a price to redeem a truth in my life. I give myself to you. That's the good news. It's great joy. It's okay to be happy right now. Good tidings, great joy, all people. Yay. So guess who enters in? Believers. You say, well, I'm a believer. But what do you believe? You can believe He forgave you of your sins. You can believe you're going to heaven. Do you believe He loves you all the time? Do you believe that you have the identity of righteousness in His sight through the blood all the time? Do you believe you're holy, pure, and blameless and above reproach in His sight all the time because of Colossians chapter 1? Because if you believe that, it'll make a difference in your life, in your countenance, in your pursuit of Him. I promise you, church, you will never pursue intimacy with Jesus unless you're settled on how He sees you first. If you see how he sees you, you're inspired to approach him with boldness. And you say, yeah, but you don't know what I did this morning. Yeah, but I know what he did when he rose from the dead, when he went to that cross. I know what he accomplished. I know what his blood speaking. And I'm not making light of what you did this morning. What I'm saying is, how did what you do this morning keeps you from coming to him? That's the reason you need to go to him. Yeah? Because here's what happens. You start to let your identity revolve around what you did this morning, so that grays your identity out. That grays your ability to see how he sees you. Now you're nothing more than what you just did. Now you value yourself less than who you really are, and then you keep living up to the low value which you behold yourself in, and that's called a cycle. And because your heart's alive and you care, that cycle starts to condemn you and crush you. And you cry inside. And you feel like you're dying inside because you don't want to be there, which means you're not as lost as you think because you care. You couldn't condemn somebody if their heart wasn't pure, because it would have nowhere to land. They wouldn't care. Condemnation wouldn't even be a factor if somebody was as bad as the condemned person thinks they are. You wouldn't care enough to be condemned if you were as bad as you've judged. I know you've had people do this. They come to you and they tell you their stuff and they cry. And they tell you their secrets and their sins. And they're crying. You ever see that? Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know what I tell them? I say, man, I'm sure excited to see how the gospel's purifying your heart. And they go, purifying my heart? Didn't you hear what I just said I did? Well, I heard what you said you did. We'll talk about it in a second, but I see who you are, and that excites me. And if we're not careful, we're going to miss something here. You're going to start letting what you did be who you are instead of what he did be who you are. Because the fact that you're crying and you care, this thing's about to break in your life. Unless you identify yourself through it instead of him. I'm excited for you. And they go, woo! And they usually cry because they want to believe. Why do they want to believe? Because they're alive right here. And the devil would love to change their mind. You've seen that before. Boy, I've seen it. Woo! Man, I'm so excited to see how pure you are.